Who Gets the China? Essays and podcasts about navigating life with aging parents and saving your sanity while you're at it. Whose ashes are these? This little yellow sticky note greets me on a recent visit to my parents' house. I know exactly what it means. I wonder what it might conjure up for you. Perhaps your parents also have yellow sticky notes all over their computers and desks. Or maybe they have a few strategically placed so when you come over, you'll notice an important to-do item. I'm usually fine with this because it means they are thinking ahead about our time and how I can be useful. Often I spy one on the fridge at 6:15 with the word wine on it, so my dad remembers to take the chilling wine out of the freezer before dinner. Those are fine, but this one kind of stirs an annoyed dread in me. This is a reminder to dig a hole and bury the ashes of my beloved childhood dog, Cassie. She died close to 40 years ago, 3,000 miles from here. Cassie, our sweet, if a bit rambunctious German Shepherd mix, died in Connecticut in around 1988. Since then, her ashes, along with her collar and her dog tags, have traveled across the country on a moving van and now live in a repurposed Huggies bin in the garage. I feel like her remains should at least be in a beautiful ceramic container after all this time. Periodically, when my sister or I visit, the Huggies box comes out. Recently, it was accompanied by a yellow sticky note on the microwave that said ashes. This lets us know we need to make time on this trip to deal with Cassie's ashes, because there aren't enough things to do when you're visiting your aging parents. Burying our dog 40 years later is now an urgent priority. I know it's hard to process the death of a pet, I really do. But carrying this physical and emotional container around for 40 years seems like a lot. Doesn't seeing the Huggies box of ashes every few months drain one's emotional energy? Could these ashes have been scattered in our yard in Connecticut where she happily ruled with a fierce bark her entire life? Yes, they could have. But instead, they made it into the moving van for the journey to the other side of the country. And here they sit. Now, my mom wants a hole dug in the backyard somewhere to bury the ashes and the collar and the tags. But alas, they currently have mostly an AstroTurf yard, making digging very difficult. So the ashes have remained in their plastic bin. Honestly, I don't really want to deal with this either. It bothers me that my mom hasn't dealt with this over the last 40 years, and now it's my responsibility to take care of it. There are so many other ways I'd rather spend my time with my mom at this stage, or even things I'd rather argue over. It seems the longer you hold on to these emotional and physical weights, the heavier they become until you just can't face them, and then you hope you never have to. But it really doesn't feel fair to push them off onto your loved ones either. Anyway, I suppose I could sneak the ashes into the trash, but that feels wrong, and I'd ultimately have to answer for it when my mom discovers them there anyway. If you read my Talking Trash post, you'll learn more about what I mean. Maybe the next time I'm there, I'll try to strike up a compromise and see if we can scatter the ashes in the shrubbery or in one of the gardens on the side of the house. Maybe we could dig a smaller hole to bury her sweet collar in and mark it with a pretty plant or a stone to remember her by. To me, that feels a lot better than collecting dust in the garage. Either way, I'd really love this item to come off my mental and actual list of to-do items. Have you grappled with ashes in your household? If you have, I'd love to hear about it. Who Gets the China is written and hosted by Kirsten Mao, produced by Aaron Bryce of Blue Ogden Productions. Our theme music is composed by Greg Fellman of Wind Sand Productions. Our cover art is by Jenn Beam of Gigawatt Studio. For more stories and expert advice, follow along on Substack or at www.whogetsthechina.com. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone who might appreciate the conversation. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time.